It has, about 9 columns, and it's the entries, the index during various days. So you can see, November 1st, 1985, and then open, high, low, close, volume. Just ignore the OI field. And then I put this data set, original data set, into Google spreadsheet, and then I extracted out month and year, um, so that we can create different dimensions to view the data. Um, and then the next data set that I derived from this one is called the average close. So basically, I perform a pivot table operation to calculate the average close index um, by year. So this is to create another view of the data, so you can see the index progression over a year. Um, so we're gonna use these two data sets. And for the simple dashboard, so this is what we're gonna create. So we're gonna create this which dashboard that has 3 line charts, and the first line chart is the open index. The second line chart is the close index. The third one is the volume of the stock traded. Um, and the last one is the index over year. So this last chart is going to be attached to the average close pivot table data set that I presented earlier. And the first 3 charts will be connected to the first master NASDAQ 100 data set. So this dashboard, the first 3 charts are attached to the first data set, and this bar chart will be attached to the average close data set. Okay, so it's just going to be like that. And so for this dashboard demo, I've created a demo account for the webinar participants. So you can use this account because the feature needs a standard or pro account. So if you don't have an account yet, you can use this account to play around with it. I think I'll keep it for about 5 days after the webinar, and then we'll disable the account. But you can use it to play around with the feature. Notice that it's a shared account, so don't upload to your personal or proprietary sensitive data into the account because other people may see them. So if you go to https://column//vida.io, and the email login is demo@vida.io, and the password is demo1208. So it's today's date. So demo1208. So let me go to the VIDA.io site and then show you that. So if you log in here, 1208. So you're logged in. I'm logged in right now, and this is a pro account that we set up already to use. Okay, and for this demo, since it's a shared account, so if you create something, please prefix it with your name or some unique identifier so you know that it's your chart. So I'm just gonna suggest a convention that to put your name in front of the charts and the dashboards. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here, and for the first simple dashboard, we will need a line chart and a bar chart. Actually, I've already uploaded the data. Let's look at the data first. So here's the data set for the NASDAQ 100 index. If you look at the grid here, it is basically the screenshot that I showed earlier. And then the second line data set that I uploaded is here. And I've already created some of the demos here. So if you have some problem while you playing with the tool, you can have a look at it. So we're going to show them here, and here are the charts and the bar chart. So we're going to create 3 charts, line charts, and a bar chart that shows the average index. Okay, so let's go back to the D3 Documents tab and create some charts. So we're going to create a line chart component. So I'm going to name this one with my prefix. And then we're going to create a bar chart component. I'm going to name this one with my prefix as well. Okay, so these are the basic charts that VIDA.io provides. And then if we go back, I see my charts here. Then now I'm going to go to the dashboard tool and then create my dashboard. So I'm going to create a new composite document. And we call it composite documents because it is a document that is composed of smaller D3.js documents. So, but it's basically a dashboard. So I'm going to create a new dashboard, and then I'm just going to prefix mine with my name, NASDAQ 100 index 1985 to 2012. Okay, and I'm going to add my documents in here. So I'm going to add 3 line charts in here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and by default, they're just going to show the default data set in here. And I'm going to add the 4th chart is the bar chart. Okay, I have all of my charts in here now. Now I'm going to move them around so that I can create the chart layout. So I'm just going to resize them a little bit. This one is here. And then I'm just going to make the 3rd one occupying more screen space. And then the last bar chart, I'm going to create them with more screen space here. And once you hover on the chart, there is a little highlight of the border around the chart. And there's a little toggle here that you can click on and then say edit properties or remove. So if you accidentally add a chart in there, you can remove them. Otherwise, you can edit the properties. And the properties are basically these pre-configured properties that for this chart. So you can set the x-axis, data format, etc. And I like to use the width and height here so that I can exactly configure the chart width and height. So I'm just gonna set this width to like a standard 500 plus 350 for height. So that my charts, actually let me do 550. So my charts have uniform size. This one is pretty close to 550 and then 350. So you can see they are exactly lined up. For this one, I think I'm gonna do maybe 1,000 and then 350 also. And then for this one, I'm also gonna do 1,000 and 350. So that my chart sizes are uniform and they they are lining up with each other. Okay. So the next one, so once I resize and have them in the layout that I want, now I can tweak other properties. So by default, they have the data sets, whatever attached to the chart. Now let's set it to the data set that we want, which is a NASDAQ 100 index here. Takes a little time to load. So let me refresh this screen. Okay. And then for the x-axis, I'm gonna select the date. And then for the y-axis, I'm gonna select open. Okay. And I'm gonna change this y-axis label to open index. But we haven't seen the data coming in yet. This is because I need to tweak the date, the x data format, the x-axis data format. And if we go back to the original data set, let's see the original data set here. If you go back to this original data set, the date format is month, day, year. So we need to change this to month slash day slash year. Sorry. And big Y means it's a full year. That's 1984 or 1985 instead of 85. So I'm just gonna update. So once I update the chart, the date format, you can see the line charts start to show. And I'm gonna change the color too. So I'm gonna pick some colors here, or you can enter the color code here, whichever way works. Okay, and then I'm gonna close the dialog here. And for the second chart, I'm gonna select the same data set, and then I'm gonna say date, and I'm gonna click close here. So select close index for the y-axis. I'm gonna do month, day, year, and I'm gonna name it close index. Also gonna pick a different color for it. I think I will do a bit orange color. Okay, now I have the close index chart and the open index. And for the third chart, I'm gonna do volume. So it's the same data set. And I'm gonna select date again. And for this y-axis, I'm gonna do volume. And then I'm gonna update the time format to month, day, year. And then I'm just gonna do volume. Oops, I sort of lost the chart for a little bit. Let me refresh the page. Okay, have the chart back. I think there might be some network lagging on my side. So if you don't hear my voice, or if I'm broken up, feel free to ask me to repeat. For this chart, I'm gonna use another color. Maybe I'll use this bluish color, cyan color. Okay. And for the last chart, this is the bar chart, and I want us to show the index progression over a year. So I'm gonna pick the average close data set for this chart instead of the previous NASDAQ 100 index. So I'm gonna pick average close here. Takes a little time for the data to load, and now I can pick the year full. Year full is the year that has the full date. I'm sorry, that has the full year. So instead of 85, it shows 1985. I'm gonna pick year full. And then for the y-axis, I'm gonna pick close index. So let me close this and try again. Year full, and then close. Okay. And instead of frequency, I'm gonna pick average. I'm gonna say average close index. Right. And by default, it has a y-axis data formatting to percentage. I'm just gonna remove that because our index is just a number, an integer. So now we have the numbers here. So I'm just gonna close it. So you can see now the chart is here. You can see the index rises very high during 2000, which is where the tech boom was, and then they dropped again. Yeah, so this is the dashboard, the simple dashboard that we have. Notice that there are a couple of visual problems here. Like the x-axis for the chart, the line charts here are very close to each other. And then here we cannot see the volume number very well. So let's go and fix these problems. So it's one of the advantages of using d3.js visualization is you can actually tweak these properties. So let's go and fix these issues. So I'm gonna click on my line chart. For each of the chart, there is in the document editor view, we can have JavaScript. We can actually edit the full JavaScript code in here. And here it has a default margin, left margin of 50 pixel. Which in this case is not enough to accommodate all the length of the volume numbers here. So I'm gonna change that to 80 instead of 50. So once I change and save, you can see the margin increased a little bit here. So one of the advantages of using d3.js is you can have direct access to the code, and you can tweak these settings. And if you have any questions about how to tweak these settings for the templates, just let us know. We're happy to help you with it. And for this dates down here, since if we use the full date name and month name, it seems a bit long. So I'm going to change it to just a month/year. So see if I can shorten it a little bit. So you can see that the time is a bit shorter now. So once I save my component document, I make change in one component, and then I refresh my dashboard. It will affect all the charts that I have in my dashboard. So the component code is reused across all these charts. So you can see the margin has increased, so I can see all the numbers now. And the spacing is still not great. So my next suggestion is we're going to reduce the font size of this to 12 pixel. So I'm going to go to the style sheet, and then I'm going to say text is font size is 12 pixel. And once I refresh, you can see the font size is reduced here. And if I refresh my dashboard, all the fonts should be reduced as well. All right, so it's better looking now. I can see a separation of the dates now and down here. So you can tweak these properties and settings as much as you want, so to get the look and feel correctly. So you can apply your own font scheme, color scheme, font family, so that it will blend well into your website or hosted site. The next thing that is interesting about this feature is you can make the code embeddable. So if you click on Get Embed Code here, there is an iframe code that you can put in your website. So you can create a dashboard and then put it into your website. So here I'm just gonna create an iframe. So I'm going to JS Fiddle. So JS Fiddle is just a utility so that you can play with HTML code. So I'm just gonna put in 1200 for the width. And then once I run, I will see my frame right here. So you can embed the dashboard into any other website or software that you run, as long as they support HTML5. So they are in here. I need to increase my width and height some more. So let's do 1400, and then I'm just going to do 1200. So you can tweak the iframe size so that you can see all the charts in here. And the embedded frame, the nice advantage is it only shows the dashboard without the headers and the settings around. So here are all the charts. Now I see them all. Right? So they are standalone and can be blended into other websites. So if your website has a different color scheme or font size, font family, you can tweak them and then embed them into your site. All right. So this is a nice advantage of using VIDA.io and D3.js visualization, because you can make it really blend in versus using other BI software out there where you don't have control over the styling. Okay, so that's for our simple demo. And for the next demo, so the simple demo, for the next demo, let me see. The next demo, we're gonna use the same data set, but we will create a dc.js dashboard. So what the dc.js dashboard is, let me show you the demo dashboard here. So this is the one that I already created before. Okay, so it runs on the same data set, and it will have the index by day of the week. So we want to create a filter of the index by day of the week. As you can see, in the United States, we have more Monday holidays, so the index has less Mondays than other days. And then we're going to create a bar chart filter for the index over the years. So you can see also that the index rises over year. And then the third visualization is just actually just a data table. And we're gonna show the data entries here with a search box. So you can search for the data. Okay, but if you think it looks like a normal dashboard, nothing fancy, but they're actually very cool. So you can click on any of these charts and filter the data. So let's say I want to just look at the index in 2000, the year 2000. I click on 2000. Notice that when I click on 2000, the day of the week filter is changed to reflect new data. And my data table is now filtered into only the year 2000. So this is what cross filter does. So you can filter the data across multiple dimensions. So you can select multiple of them. So I can select 1998, 1999, 2000 together. And the data will be updated to reflect down here. And I can select the two filter together with each other. So if I want to only see Mondays of the year 98 to 2000, right? The data table is now selected to these only Mondays. So you can see the date jumps about 7 days. So 4, 11, 18, right? So these are the Mondays in December. So this is the second dashboard we're gonna create. So cross filter provides the components for us to create these dashboards without much programming because they already wire these components together. And the way you on VIDA.io, we have created a lot of these cross filter components for you to use. So if you follow this URL right here, you can see all the components that we've created. So there's a bar, there's a table, there's a day filter, there's an area chart, there's map, there's bubble chart, there's a timeline, and then there's a day filter highlight, which is a variant of this day filter chart. So we've already created these components for you. So if you just go here and grab the component and put them in your dashboard. Okay, let's go and create this dashboard. Okay, I'm gonna create a new dashboard. I'm gonna call it preface with my name, 1985 to 2012. And then it's gonna put dc.js so that I can know that it's a different one from the other one. And for this one, I'm gonna use this add VIDA document. And the VIDA documents are the ones that we already prepared and configured. So they have a lot of properties that you can use. And these are the recommended components that we put together. We build it for other customers. So we know that they're pretty useful for many visualization data set. So we put them in here so you can have a quick list here. So for this dashboard, I'm gonna add in the day filter and a bar chart. And then finally a data table. So we call them cross filter components to distinguish them with other components that we have. Okay, so I added my 3 charts in here. Now I need to change the data settings for them. So there's a convenient toggle. If they all use the same data set, there's a convenient toggle right here that I can select the data set for all of the charts in my dashboard. So for the previous dashboard, since the first three charts has one data set, the fourth chart has a different data set, I couldn't use this feature. But since for this dashboard, all of the charts use the same data set. So I'm just gonna select one data set for all of them. And then it will take a little time for the dashboard to reload. You can see here, we don't see any visualization now. That is because they are connected to the new data set. So we need to update the data properties for them. So for the day of the week chart, there is a time format. So I'm just gonna use the time format that we've previously used for this data set, which is month, day, year. And then I'm gonna select the date column as date here. Once I do that, when my chart is refreshed, it will show the data. And instead of the default chart title, tweet of the day in day of the week, I'm just gonna do index in day of week, in days of week. Okay. And then for the bar chart, we gonna change the chart title to, let's actually select the year. So it's gonna be year, and it's gonna be, we're gonna do open index. And then we're gonna call it index over year. Okay. Here's how it looks like. So I have 10 bars here. It's because if I have all the bars in here, it may take more space. So if I select, there is a setting called max category. So if you want to limit the number of categories you want to show on the screen, you set it to this number. This is because, let's say your data set has 100 categories, and you don't want to show all of them. Then you control this. In this case, I'm going to put it as 50 because I actually want to see all the years. So I'm going to do 50. And there's a bar order. This is gonna sort the bars, but in this case, I don't sort the bars by the value. So it will show. Actually, let me resize it a little bit. It's updated, so you can see the bars. But in this case, it sorts all the bars, so you can see 2000 has the highest value because that was when the peak happens, and then 99, and then the years all out of order. So in this case, I don't want to sort my bars. I just want it to follow the existing order, whatever in the data set. So I'm just gonna uncheck the sort the bars box, and I can have my index over here. Okay. All right. So the last document that I want to update is the data table. And for the data table, it does have a year, a time component as well. So I'm going to tweak it to month, day, year. And then I'm going to click on date. So as for the date selection. And then there's a search filter field, which is the field right here. So you can type in the search string here and have it search and filter the data by. So in this case, I'm gonna search for by date. So if you have a data set that has some text in there and you want to be able to search by the text, then you can tweak this property. And for the table size, the default is going to be 50. but you can actually show more data. If you want to show 100 entries or all the entries, you can tweak them here. So I'm just going to keep it as 50. I just want to see the first 50 data points for the data. And this template chart, this template table supports up to 5 data columns. So I'm going to select my data columns here. First one is date. The second one is open. And then the third one is, I want to see, let's say high. The high points of the index. Last one, I'm going to see close. Actually, not last one, but near last. And then the last one, I want to do volume. And if I don't want, I only want to see 4, then I can just set this to empty, and it won't show the last column. But in this case, I want to see volume as well. Okay. Here's my data table. Okay. And for the search field, remember we were setting the search filter today. So I can actually search it here. Let's say I want to see the data for 2012 only. Actually, 2012 already showed up. Let me do 2009, right? So it will filter the data for only 2009. And you notice that my charts up here are also updated to 2009, right? So let me do 1999, right? You can see 1999 only showed here, and then the data points are filtered. So you can create some very powerful data points here, data filters, I'm sorry. So you can filter the data like this, right? Yeah. So that's the cross filter components. We already create these components, and you can put them together in the dashboard, and then you can filter the data across various dimensions. Okay, so that's what cross filter is, and we have a bunch of dashboards that we already put together for you to play with. And I'll post this on SlideShare or something, so you can have a look at them. These are the examples that we have. So this dashboard is another one that features a map. And the data set shows the VC investments across various states in the US. So you can see the map here. You can see California, Washington, Texas, New York, Massachusetts. These are the states that have higher investments than the rest of the country. And then down here, there are 2 bubble charts. The number of deals and raised capital. So the bubble size show the size of the investment, and then you have 2-dimension raised capital in millions of dollars, and then number of deals. And for another one, the data, and for this data is broken by industry, so technology, healthcare, consumer services. And the second bubble chart is broken by round. So you can see whether it's later stage, seed round, first Series A. So it's also a DC.js dashboard. So you can filter the data. So let's say I only want to look at Washington, which is where we are. You can see the data is filtered to only these data points, and I can see and I can filter them down further. So let's say if I want to look at these bubbles only, I think they are industrial goods. Let me see if we can look at only, I'm looking for IT, right? It's a bit hard to select, but let's look at California, for example. Okay, California, and I only want to look at IT, right? So the data is filtered based on my selections. Or if I want to look at IT across all states, right, I can filter it. Or if I want to look at later stage investments across all states, right? Or I can combine them, later stage information technology, right? So I can turn on these two filters together, and then I can reset everything. So that's a VC industry. So this is another variation of that dashboard. So VC industry, and this one also includes a data table. So it's the same dashboard, but we have a data table down here. And this data table is a bit different from the data table that I showed earlier in the demo. It has also the search view, but it also has a column sorting capability. So I can sort it by industry group, or city or state, right? And then I can filter information technology. Right? I can apply the same set of filter for this dashboard. Let me see. Right? And then there's a data table down here that you can browse the data. And then there are other examples here. So that's all we have for today. If you have any question and answer questions, feel free to ask. And then I have a coupon code here. So it's DSCT discount 120815. So December 0815. You can use this discount code to get 50% off for 6 months. So if you want to check out this feature, you can use it, this discount code. And I'll post this the slides on SlideShare, so you can have a look at them. I'll send an email to everyone. Okay, so does anyone have a question for me? Okay, so
No, thank you. That was very helpful.
okay, all right. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email at foodly@vida.io. I'll put this on SlideShare and send everyone an email. Um, yeah, so let me know, and we'd love to hear your feedback, and we continue to improve the feature. Um, yeah, so thank you, everyone. Have a good day.